Hi everyone, my name's Anthony Cummins, welcome to this video. Right, okay, this is Fukushima Ryu Part 2. Now me and Stephen Nojiri have been going through the final scroll, the sort of mental preparation scroll, and you can catch up with everything. Please go to the links below. Stephen's done a load of videos on this and they're really good videos. So go and see them and you'll get up to date. Right, okay, to carry on from where we were and to carry on from where Stephen was, ninjutsu is not just from Iga and Koka. Right, is ninjutsu just from Iga and Koka? Yes or no? This is such a big question. I am in total agreement with Stephen. I don't think it's from Iga or Koka only. But the problem is when you trace these other ninja schools back, you normally get back to Iga and Koka some way or the other. Even Steve will tell you there's a big relationship between sort of the Iga Koka area and Fukushima. So, and you know, and same as Mikawa, and there's just a big connection around that area. So it's you know, and there's connections between the two. It's a long story, but Stephen knows it all inside out. And there is a connection, is my point. There's a connection between the Iga. And when I spoke to Kawakami Sensei, he did a great question, which was if they're not only from Iga and Koka, then where are the others? You know, where are they in the document? And it is a good question because when you go, as I just said, when you go back through, like for example, Mubyoshi Ryu, which is in Kanazawa, they go directly back to Iga. Iga comes up straight away. So it's like, where? But of course, we do know that the Gunpo Joshu says only use, you know, Iga and Koka because they're the best at this, meaning not the only ones. So it's a big question, guys, but it's unanswered. But I am with Stephen on this one, and I don't think it's just Iga and Koga. But, you know, we have to go through it. Now, Inco Ryu. Stephen talks about Inco Ryu. Now, if you've got this book, which is Surge Maul's Invisible Armor, Inco Ryu is pretty much a derivative of Fukushima Ryu, we believe. And if you go to page 56, you get 56, 57, 58, 59... 60 and 62. Those pages have some of Inco Ryu on it. Now there's some of the charms. They're exactly the same as the Fukushima charms. It's pretty much the same school, obviously, as I said. Now this picture is the one. Can you get that, guys? This one here. It says Inco Ryu Ninjutsu Collection of the Author. That is by the collection of Surge Maul. I think I know this manual. I nearly got a copy once. It was a reproduction like the Bansen Chukai, but they've sold out and I can't get one. Now, this is my message to Surge Maul. Surge, why are you not publishing that? You can publish books, you can translate, get them published. I will be #1 in the queue to buy a copy. So if anybody knows Surge Maul, send him this video. If you know him, get him translating those Inco Ryu ninja manuals. Why not? Let's get more manuals on the market, guys. Let's get everybody talking about the ninja. Okay, so Surge Maul, why are you not translating this? Translate it, sort it out. Right. Stephen then goes on to correct bravery versus brute courage. So basically, correct courage, brute courage. Now, Natori Matazumi talks about this as well, and as Stephen said, it's in the Bansen Chukai. What this is, he's totally correct, is physical prowess will get you so far. So if I argue with someone and they're harder than me, they will beat me and I will say, oh yeah, you know, teeth falling out, eye falling out, but yeah, you're correct, mate, you know, well done. And then if I am stronger than that person, I beat them and they... But there's only a limitation to that. One, you don't find the correct truth. You don't get anything from it except you beat someone else and kill someone else. And you can never lead with brute courage. In the Natori's course, he's talking about leadership and basically, you know, because you're meant to be a tactician. Brute courage will never get you anywhere because there's always someone bigger, tougher, or they'll get 2 or 3 people, or if you have 2 or 3 people, they'll have 10 people. If you have 10 people, they have 100 people. Brute courage only ends up the same. It's, you know, and the nation that wins by brute courage is just the, you know, the dominant force. But somebody who wins with tactics, bravery, and calculation is much more dangerous. Someone of brute courage has to run out of strength. They have to run out of steam. Whether it's a military force using up all the money of the country because they're constantly trying to get, you know, kill the clever people. It doesn't matter what. It will basically always overtake brute courage. So correct courage. Now. Now, what he says here, I think Stephen's a little bit wrong because, or he's not that he doesn't understand, of course he understands it very well, but I think he's misunderstood something. Is in the scroll it says, utilise cowardness, and he's got an invested personal interest in this scroll, so he doesn't want the word cowardice in it. But it is actually cowardice. It does say cowardice, but timidity, something like that. But it says use cowardice. This is the bit Stephen's missed, is use cowardice. Don't be a coward. Use the concept of cowardice. I'm going to go back to Natori for my guys. Same thing is said in some of the other ninja scrolls outside of the Shonen Key. It says use cowardness, timidity when you're on a shinobi mission. Because you don't want to be the guy charging down the road and look at me. You want to be the guy crunched in the corner. You want to be the guy who's hiding. You want to. So Fukushima is not saying be a coward. He's saying utilize cowardness in your mind. Inside is internally strong, but use cowardice as your outside, your outside face. I think that Stephen's missed that a bit. So of course, correct bravery for Shinobi no Mono is not brute courage. You can't go around smashing things over the face. You can't go for. You've got to go in very, very subtly. You've got to be the coward in the background. Then strike, show your substance, and when you've infiltrated through insubstance, formlessness. Chi. Stephen talks about chi. Now, of course, this is a massive concept in the Japanese, and it can be non-magical. Chi can be very, very much non-magical. It just means atmosphere, but at the same time it can mean your personal. So be careful here. Don't be like moving, the force with your chi. This is more about, we all get it. It's not supernatural. Sometimes you feel drained. In England we say, I'm drained of energy. Chi, you can say I'm drained of chi. It's the same thing. You've gone. So somebody who, remember in the Shonen Key says, make sure you build up enough chi. I.e., don't expend yourself. Take a break. Relax. So what he's saying here is, with the correct mindset and the correct, not a scrambled, tangled mind, a flat, calm mind, and with enough chi, you can have things will happen for you. That's the time. That's the best place you should be. Now, Sun Tzu's win without attacking, absolutely. In all Japanese manuals, is not just for Fukushima Ryu. You've got to win without killing, because killing means money. The more you have the more you go to war, the more money it costs. It's better to send out the spies and win through espionage. So you get to the point where the enemy is going to do something, you counter it before they've even done it, because you know it's going to happen. And that enemy are like, they're not stupid, like he's got spies everywhere here, what do we move? Let's not bother attacking. That is what it means. Or there's a myriad of different ways you can not interpret that, but use that. But the interpretation is the same, is use intelligence before brute strength to achieve what you want. Right, now the principle of emptiness. Now you can look this up on YouTube. It's called Sunyata, Sunyata. This is the concept of emptiness. Now again, Stephen says it's devoid of sort of, again, I can't give you a one round. I've tried to find the simple sentence to do this, but you've got this tradition says this tradition says that. Even the old traditions don't agree on what it is. But basically, it's a case of, it's not negative. The idea is, don't use external fake things internally. Don't let your mind be squashed by the outside world. Clarity, empty of, I'm going to use the English translate, empty of the crap, basically. So do you remember we talked about the mirror and the polished mind and the ocean being flat? It's sort of the same thing. You've got to exist in a state where you're not affected by other things. There are lots of other interpretations, guys. Don't take my word. Go and find it on the internet. But it is a nightmare to get through, because half the people don't agree on it, or they do agree, but they come at it from that angle. So, but basically, so if you've got righteousness deep inside, if you've got the correct path, the gods will help you, and you have this concept of use emptiness. So if you want to win 100 battles out of 100 battles, what you do is clear your mind, get rid of the crap, the stress, everybody's building up into a frenzy. What do we do? Get rid of it all, clear, calm, send out your spies, get it sorted, understand what's going on, and adjust for it with calculation, not with brute courage by going battering everything. So if you have to fight, it says, to win 100 battles of 100 battles, take it down a notch, empty everything out, enter into that Honshin, true mind, where it's a level plane where it reflects everything, and you will see the enemy and you'll see what they're about to do, and you can read the enemy properly. So that's how it's pretty much is what it's saying. So be in the flow of the universe. Let everything, just chillax, but not in the way it's a case of laziness. It's take it down a notch, flatten out your mind, use Sun Tzu's principles, use your spies. If you have to go to a fight, go with a clear mind. So the idea is to dissolve your constructed self and rule with the 5 virtues. So it's benevolence, righteousness, courtesy, wisdom, fidelity. Now these are very, very important. They're everywhere. Yeah. So you know, loyal to your Lord. You're benevolent to the people below you. You're hold on, let me go through benevolence, righteousness. You have a true heart intention. You have courtesy. That means, you know, you actually are nice to people. You shouldn't be nasty to anyone. Then wisdom, plan with wisdom, and have again loyalty there, you know, fidelity and things like that. So the idea is you've come from this very tranquil place. You are not messed up inside. You are leading with the 5 virtues. You are using Sun Tzu's 5 constant factors. You are in a position where you are being I'm not going to say nice person, but you are backed by the gods because you are an honest person, and this is where your mind should be. So remember, it's a Shinobi manual. While they're using concepts from basic Heiho and they're using Buddhist concepts, you've got to remember it isn't divided. Yep, there is no strict division. This is the problem we've had in the past, is the samurai and the shinobi worlds cross over, because the shinobi is a subsection of samurai, same as the samurai is a subsection of the world in Japan, which means that Buddhism, Shinto, it's all there. You can't 100% say this is Buddhism, this is you know, Shinto, this is, and everybody leads those separately. They are separate entities, same as ninjutsu is separate to, you know, Heiho proper, and martial arts is separate from hand to hand at times, but they all move together, overlapping in layers. They all move as one entity. So when we come back at this, you take a stance at the back and you've got the samurai. He's got all this in his mind. He's been brought up Buddhism. He's got some Shinto in him. He's got some Confucius teachings. He's, you know, got Heiho down. He's studied Chinese classics from someone who lived like 1,500, 2,000 years before him. You know, someone is totally an ancestor to him. So we are closer to the samurai than the samurai are closer to Sun Tzu. Remember that. Sun Tzu was like way before the samurai, and we are closer to the samurai than they are. So we study Sun Tzu, they studied Sun Tzu, and Sun Tzu is alien to both of us. It's not even Japanese. So remember that. So you've got this non-Japanese religion. So you've got Buddhism, not Japanese. You've got Shintoism there, Japanese. You've got shamanism at times, that is Japanese, possibly influenced by other things. You've got foreign architecture. You've got foreign warfare policies. Everything is mixed in to create this idea of the samurai. And in this case, the samurai here is a subsection of being a shinobi. So imagine that it's not just shinobi, it's a shinobi manual. It's telling you, do the shinobi in this way, fight your battles in this way, but it's supported on a massive foundation of the culture behind it. It's a huge thing you have to consider. When we look at these spells in a bit, you're going to laugh and be like, what? You know, that's just hocus pocus. But when you put in all the rest of it behind it, you know, and the military tactics, and then that's the thin slice on top, which is the ninjutsu. Now remember, some of the concepts in those are actually Buddhist concepts, like the principle of emptiness. What is it? Shunyata. That is a concept that Inco was talking about. There's different concepts within the Japanese, and what I have to remind you, let me check the time, what I have to remind you is that mine and Yoshi's task is to bring about the most unbiased, factual, with the intention of the author, translation that we can. And normally when there's a concept like that, or there's something, we put a footnote. You'll see it's like got number 1, number 2, and it will give you the kanji. So they're all there. So if you go through all of our books, we usually put, where there's something of interest, the kanji in for you. That means, or the kanji in the Japanese, this means that you can go and research it. Nobody ever does, but we put them in there for future generations because they're all there. Check the Bansen guide, there's hundreds of footnotes. Check them all, there's hundreds and hundreds of footnotes. All there, which should lead you off in these different Buddhist concepts and these different things. Eventually we'll get all this sorted, guys, don't worry, we'll get all the books made, we'll get everything. But apart from that, right, okay guys, I will see you next time when we start chewing down on the actual skills. Serge Moll published that book.